Hi there, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Disney Dad Canada. I also go by Mike in my real life. But yeah, I'm here to talk a little bit more about Lorcana and the soon to be announced, like slightly spoilerish. To talk about that in a few minutes, just to give you a little preface here. There was some information about reprints leaked yesterday. Whether it's credible or not, I couldn't say, but I'm not popular enough for anybody to tell me not to talk about it yet. So we're going to talk about it a little bit, and then I'm going to go over 2 dozen different cards that I would like to see reprinted in Fabled. So without further ado, I don't know exactly when I'm going to get to releasing this video, but certainly ahead of Gen Con, maybe after the weekend here. But happy Friday if you're watching on Friday the 25th, and I decided to upload it before I went to the cottage. Probably not. So first off, guys, here's so this is the image that's circulating again. Like I think I prefaced it, but turn it off right now if you don't want to hear spoilers. This is for the investigators, the sleuths in the crowd. So it looks like we know the 6 legendaries that will be reprinted in Fabled. They include Maleficent, Monstrous Dragon, which we were well aware of already, Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, Hades, Infernal Schemer, Stitch, Carefree Surfer, Elsa, Spirit of Winter, and Prince John, Alien Space Pirate. I kind of like all of these choices. I don't really have an issue with any of them. I think that depending on what color you'd like to play, you might gripe like you would have preferred Rapunzel or Mufasa over Stitch. The collector in me is a little excited that Stitch stayed on. I didn't quite forecast that, and I do have a Carefree Surfer Stitch Enchanted. It's the only Enchanted that I own from Chapter One, so I think that's cool, and so it's likely will benefit my collection in the short term, at least, should I decide to move on from that card. I like the idea that Stitch is a very popular character in the Disney universe right now. Won't be long before the live action shows up on Disney Plus, so I like that Stitch is in, and I think it's cool that the other ones they kept, I'm pretty happy with. I'm a green blue player by nature, so chance to get Hades at a decent price. Never went out and bought those. Always thought they were a little overpriced for when I got into the game late around Christmas time there of 2024. So yeah, like I think this is cool. They also like you can. There was also some little spoilery stuff that came out about the flavor text on the Brave Little Prince. It looks basically like a shift Mickey Brave Little Tailor shift 5 onto a smaller Mickey Mouse. So you bring out that 5/5 body a little earlier than the 8 cost Brave Little Tailor that it used to be from set 1. So I think that's pretty cool if you can find a low cost Mickey to shift on. Maybe your Sticky Mickey from set 5. So yeah. Anyways, cool stuff. I thought it was fun to talk about, and but it led me to okay before anything else gets leaked. What are the cards that I really want to see? That again, so this is both from a collector perspective and also from a just like these are the cards that I like. So a modest player, a guy who thinks he's a professional collector, but quite frankly is an amateur at best, but likes to talk about Disney and Lorcana. So starting with the first grouping here of amber cards. What I did is I decided to choose just one. I want to keep it simple. I realize there's a lot of numbers and I didn't want to get too quick on the math here. Just a quick scan of a common, an uncommon, a rare, and a super rare card that I would like to see reprinted in each color for Fable. And so here's a little bit of my justification. So Stitch New Dog, I think, is pretty obvious. It provides a nice shift target for the Rockstar Stitch. So I think that in itself is necessary. So whether it be a 1 cost Stitch somewhere else, but like I might as well do the new dog. It's cute. Again, movie relevant. I think that's to me that it's kind of a no brainer. And I thought it was worth bringing up here. So we now know that Rapunzel will not be reprinted in her Gifted with Healing card, but I think that there's something to be said for the gifted artist, and I think that there are some hints that this might make its way back in the different promo material and books, collectors books that they'll be releasing for Fabled. I feel like this has got a pretty good chance, and I think if you're going to rotate out the most popular Rapunzel in the game, you bring in the gifted artist, which has some of the qualities that the other Rapunzel does, maybe not as fierce, but either way, cool art, cool property. And then I think you put the lantern with it as well. I think it has been tacked into different meta decks as a reasonably playable item card, depending on which phase of the meta that you're at. So I think that's cool. And then Lastly, I think Chernabog is like I've never confess I really have never played Amber because of the cost of Rapunzel gifted with healing, but I'm excited to try it now that I think I'll be able to afford it. And I think Chernabog is a fun way to play the Chernadogs deck. I don't necessarily want to see that go away just yet. I can be convinced otherwise on this. Is probably my least confident of all the super rares that I picked, but I like it. I say let Chernabog live on a little bit longer. For Amethyst, our common card is Friends on the Other Side. And you might say, Mike, that's way too powerful of a card. Not really. And I've waffled back and forth on the rare card there, Madam Mim. I really thought for a while that perhaps the Snake was the right one to reprint. But the more I've thought about it, I think this is a powerful yet fair card in Madam Mim Fox. And if it happens to survive its rush ability, it has a chance to sing Friends on the Other Side. I think that really works well for this deck. I think the more that my son plays Purple Steel, the more I can really appreciate how much fun Amethyst is, and I don't really essentially want it. I don't want it to go away too much. So I'd like to have a little bit of bounce. I'd like to be able to sing its songs to draw the cards. I think Merlin Goat to me should be prime for an epic or an enchanted. I think it would be a perfect selection. I think it's probably in many ways it's my favorite version of the different Merlins from the Sword in the Stone movie. There's so much going on for this card, and I think it is very much an iconic Lorcana card even at this point in Lorcana's history. So I like the idea of the goat, and then Belle Accomplished Mystic. She can shift onto the Bell you play off of Popsicle for free. So I think the Blurple is hot. I like the way it's shaping up for the new meta, and I thought about keeping Peter Pan Shadowfinder over Bell. I think a lot of people might like that, but I favored Madam Mim with Rush, and then faded the Snake, and therefore faded Peter Pan Shadowfinder. And I think this is just a little bit of a cooler card. Nice art too as well. They've leaned into that very heavily before. One of my favorite colors to play is Emerald, and not in your Emerald Steel discard function. But I think I feel really good about the choices for all four of these cards. The first one I'm going to start with is Hidden Incaster, and it's a set 4 card that never got any real meta shake play. But I could see hitting Incaster having some run at some point, and I'd like a little bit more time to mess around with it, especially for another 4 more sets. Or another 8 more sets. I think there'd be a lot of fun things that you can end up doing with that. And so when I was looking through all the common cards, there's lots of other choices you could have, but I thought Hidden Caster was a cool one. You got to really think about how you want to put it in your deck, but I like it, and I'd like to see it come back. I think this uncommon Ursula Deceiver is also probably one of the most iconic Emerald cards. Pair that up with the Muses next to it. Those are 2 of the staple Emerald cards you can see in almost every Emerald deck, and I love the idea of ripping songs. I think it works well with the character of Ursula Deceiver. There's just so many things I like about this card, and I think it's a strong way of keeping Steel Song in check. So I would bring back Ursula Deceiver for sure. And the Muses, I don't know what you do with Emerald without the Muses, especially the way that I played it in blue-green. So I would like to see the Muses come back. I don't think it's overpowered. I think it's incredibly fair. And they don't have to reprint Under the Sea, or maybe they don't want to reprint Cloud Kicker to bounce those 2 strength or less back. But I like the Muses. I think it's a great, fun mechanic, and I don't think it's overpowered. The last one is Genie on the Job, set 1. Card. I played with this a lot when I first started playing Lorcana, not as much recently, but I think it's a good card. I think having evasive in green is nice. It's not always easy to find. I think that would pair well with, I always enjoy playing this card. Maybe not 4 copies because it's uninkable, but I like it. It gives you a little bit of... You get to return characters, bounce people's back to their hands. So again, the more that bounce mechanic, if we're losing things like Mother Knows Best, I don't know if we're keeping that or not. That was one I debated putting in here as well as an important song card. But we do have You're Welcome to get cards off the field of battle. Genie might to bounce it back in your hand, to throw Clarabelle down to refill your hand. I think Genie, probably just based on where I see Emerald going, I think it's got a little bit more run in it. So that would be a fun reprint. Admittedly, I don't play much Ruby, but a couple standouts that I thought were fun and I think could be impactful and going forward are Vitalis Sphere. That, again, another set 4 cards, so only had a few sets to shine, but I like the idea of banish the item, adding rush to red aggressive characters is pretty cool. It pairs with Super Goof. I think Super Goof is a great card again, set 4. I'd hate to see that go so quickly. I really like the card, and I think it's a really nice uh, in certain red decks. So uncommon Dragonfire. It's an expensive cost to do it, but if you need to banish a chosen character, we know that Big Sisu is not coming back. I assume Be Prepared will, but I like the idea of just you got to come in with the fire. It's got the Maleficent Dragon on it, which will be a visual centerpiece of set 9. So I like what's going on here. Lady Tremaine is the super rare. Anecdotally, I was having trouble between this and Madame Medusa, and I almost like to hear what red players like as the callback. I think this one's fun because it has a shift mechanic. It banishes. You get the other. You put it on the opponent to choose which character they want to banish, and also quest for 2 if you're able to keep it in sticks. So that was my choice, but I could be talked into Madame Medusa 6 cost as well. I would defer to the Ruby enthusiast on that. Another color I'm particularly fond of is Sapphire when it's paired with Emerald, and I do think Popsicle or something similar to it has to stay. Now, is Jumbo Pop enough to keep the draw going? Maybe. Probably not, but I do feel like a 1-cost item. I love the bell mechanic, and it's probably a little bit of recency bias that I've incorporated the Bell Apprentice Inventor in with the Popsicle, being able to sing Mother Knows Best on turn 2 if I want to shoot a daisy back into their hand. There's just so many good things that I've been able to do with Popsicle Bell that I'm not ready to let it go yet. And without Fortisphere, I think Popsicle as the 1-drop needs to stay. But that's my opinion. I wouldn't. If you can give me something else that keeps draw and some early decent 1-drops of blue, I can maybe be convinced that it has to go. But for now, I like it. How Far I'll Go is just a really, really great card. It pairs so well with the Muses and Grandma Tala. Now, Grandma Tala I could see her not surviving rotation. I thought about choosing her as the instead of Popsicle, so I could be convinced on that as well. But either way, I like How Far I'll Go. I think it's an incredibly powerful card, and I am not ready to see it go yet. I think Gaston Intellectual Powerhouse is sort of the sleeper rare of the entire set. I love this card. I haven't found a good shift target for him yet. I'd love to see if we can get one. Gaston is one of my favorite villains. I like this card. I like using in the down in New Orleans Emerald Sapphire build. It's such a devastating character. If you do down in New Orleans, hit this, and then play another card, like the game's almost over very early on turn 4 if you're able to set that up probably. So I like that. And probably my least confident super rare of the whole list that I came up with here was Tamatoa So Shiny. Again, another card that I haven't had a chance to play. I'm a later comer. I started with Shimmering Skies. I wasn't going back and picking up first chapter cards until only very recently, and I'm not a Sapphire. I'm not an items guy yet. At least I'm interested. I'm interested in dabbling. But I'd like to give Tamatoa a little bit more legs and give him a shot there. It's also a cheaper Tamatoa option than the $40+ US card. That is the legendary from set 7. Set 7. Okay, we'll round it off quickly here, guys. I want to get out of here on a Friday. Maybe take off to the cottage early. So our steel. I think this is pretty standard here. Fire the Cannons is a great card. If you're steel and you're aggressive and you want to deal damage, I like it. 1-drop, uninkable. I think it's good for new players. I think it's just a really fun card. Apologies to Mr. Smee, but I think he's too overpowered. But I think his buddy Lawrence with 1 additional ink cost over Smee, the 0-4 stat line with the +4 if he has no damage, still quest for 2. I think that allows you to get Steel Song aggressive if you want, but it's a little bit fairer than Smee. So I like the idea of keeping Lawrence and fading Smee. We can't. They have a bunch of incredible songs in Steel that work pair together well with Amber and pretty much every other caller out there. But when I took a look at all the different songs that I'd be comfortable reprinting, I landed on Strength of a Raging Fire. It's uninkable. It deals damage to equal to the number of characters you have in play. So maybe it pairs more with aggro. I like it. I think it's a fun card. I like uninkable songs. I like inkable songs. I just feel like this one. I struggle with Along Came Zeus. I struggle with Grab Your Swords. I struggle with Let the Storm Rage On. Maybe Let the Storm Rage On is the other one that could go into place. But for the sake of clean, easy, and what feels fun. And admittedly, I've not really played much of either of those songs, but Strength of a Raging Fire was my choice, probably mostly based on ink ability. And then last but not least, Cinderella is a great character. Stout-Hearted is a sick, stick-looking card. They have the DLC promo, prize wall promo. They have the D23 card. They have this card. She's on the binder that comes along with the Fabled material for collectors. The 9 pocket binder that you can get there separately. So I like. I think Cindy. I think Cindy needs to have a place in Lorcana all the time, and considering the ballroom sensation and some of this singing cards, I'm not sure they will make it back. I'm not exactly sure that that's the way that they're going to go. Let's get Cinderella in here with some cool resist and being a real badass. So, anyways, that's my thoughts on the 24 cards that I'd like to see. I mean, that's just over 10% of what they will actually. So if they're doing 171 cards divided by 85, 24. So I've given you 12% of the cards roughly today, and what I think that I'd like to see reprinted. Now, again, admittedly, I'm not a professional player. I'm not a professional collector. I build bridges by day, and I talk Lorcana way too much for a 42-year-old man. But I love it, and I think I'm pretty well in tune with what the new players are feeling right now. I like being sort of a quasi voice for new players and collectors. I think it suits me well. So this is what I think should be there, but I'd love to hear your comments. If you guys have any other ideas as to what you'd like to see reprinted, maybe it's for enchanted or epic alt art reasons for my collectors out there. Maybe there's just a particularly playable card that you're absolutely tied to that you just can't live without. I'd love to hear it in the comments. Feel free to follow me on Instagram, Disney Dad Canada. Have fun at Gen Con to those coming. And probably the next time we talk, it'll be Fabled news and lots to go over. So until next time, take care, guys. God bless and all the best.